Ladies and gentlemen, another week, Eagles Elite Podcast. Y'all know what it is. Y'all saw the game on Sunday, right? Y'all know we're going to talk about it. One of our quote unquote main players, one Mr. Darius Slay, got injured. I believe it was early in the second half, if I remember, near the beginning of the third quarter. So that second half, we were going with Rogers and Mitchell. And I got to say, a little preview, I like that duo. It looked kind of sexy out there. Um, Also, all season, I've heard lamenting and complaining and whining about our QB. Oh, too many turnovers, this, that, this, that. Turnover free game. He only threw the ball, I think, like 25 times? If I remember correctly, I have to double check that to make sure because we're going to go over the game in detail, right? Sirianni, you're arguing with fans. You're still impressing your opinions, will, whatever, upon the game. But we did have a lot of positives in this game too. The score was not one of them, but that was partially due to something that's outside of the offense or the defense's control. We're gonna talk about all that right here on the Eagles Elite Podcast. And joining me tonight, of course, my man Wyatt. Wyatt, what up, man?
What's going on, cool? What's going on, Eagles Nation? Hope y'all in the comments tonight, like you were last week. So I want to hear everybody's thoughts on what's going on with the team. A lot of stuff to talk about tonight.
Absolutely. Diva, what it do?
Well, what it do, y'all? What's going on? Ready to talk another week of what we saw on TV, another heart attack almost again, but we're ready to get into it.
And joining us this week, he got the layback going on, looking like he almost in the bed, but the man himself, Benny Boom from Benny Boom Designs. Benny, what up?
Chilling, man. Representing the west side of Philadelphia. Doing what I do.
I hear it. I hear it. Hey, we ain't nobody here new to this or true to this. So we know what we about to get into. But before we do that, let's get extra hype. That is not working as it should. Okay, it's still not working as it should. So
It said, "Nah, you don't never do it in the beginning." It says it's gonna wait.
right. I want to trip on your boy, but I got something for you though, because I keep a little backup sneakness for when you try to play me. Let's go.
The kick is away, and the kick is it's good! And the Eagles win!
It's hard to come to South Philadelphia and leave here with the win. You just don't come to Philadelphia and leave here with the win.
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you. Let the celebration begin.
All right, y'all. We know what it is. We know how we doing this thing. Back in the building. So every week it's the same. It don't never change from week one through the end of the season. So y'all know where we going first. We got to get them updates. So Wyatt, you always hit us with the juice with the updates. What we got, man?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, some of the first
Doesn't work
news
that
we
way.
have here came out yesterday evening, I believe. They ended up moving our game with the Bengals to 1:00 for week 8 here, which it's not too bad. I think it was like a 4:25 game. Now it's down to 1:00. They want to move up. I believe it was the Bears and Commanders, which, I mean, they want to showcase the rookies a little bit. I understand. But, I mean, Bengals aren't 2-2 great. Eagles we'll talk about a little bit more throughout the show. So I can kind of understand why they flexed it to 1:00.
Stupid. If you were going to flex that game, why not flex that game into the Monday night or Sunday night spot instead of a 4:25 spot? So, my opinion, stupid move, but whatever. And the Bengals are looking better. By the time this game's happened, both teams should have more wins. So you're gonna look dumb for making this move. But hey, whatever makes you happy. 425 games are a lot better for me. So piss on you, schedule makers, all of you. Hot piss.
Yeah, I mean, the only other news I have is just like the injury news, though, regarding Jordan Mailata and Dallas Goedert. They both have hamstring injuries, so it's looking multiple weeks, probably like at least 3-4 weeks, probably. I don't expect them to go on IR. I haven't seen anything regarding them being put on IR, but I mean, Mailata is a big loss, I feel like, for us. And Dallas Goedert, I mean, if you feel like as Philly fans, we're kind of used to that as of right now. We were kind of expecting this at some point this season.
Just thankful it happened after after we got Brown and Devontae back. Because if it happened while they were still out,
Oh, yeah, huge.
that would be really bad. All right, sir. Any other injury news you got for us?
Just that Darius Slay, it's looking like he's a possibility to play this week. So, I mean, he was limited today. Milton Williams also didn't practice. He has an ankle injury. I haven't really seen anything about how serious that is. I guess we'll see how that progresses throughout the week, how throughout practice, if he's going to be limited or if he's just going to be, don't participate, going to be out this week. Who knows? But we can't afford to lose anybody on that defensive line.
Very true. So, according to reports, I'll add to that, Anaya Smith will be active this week. The window has been open for tight end Albert O to return, and no official update yet on Sidney Brown, but he may be available to play this week as well.
Nice.
So, we'll at least be getting Anaya Smith back. He's a guy that should be able to help us on the front of, running the ball and because he's fast, right? I know you're like, well, he's a receiver. Yeah, but he's fast. So he's a guy that you can do some gadget and different things with. Maybe we actually would do a crazy thing called an end around that we used to do. We used to do it, but now all of a sudden we don't do it no more.
But he's better. Watching him in college, I've seen him do a lot of the jet sweep. Got to put him in that position to do something like that. Because with that speed, I don't know about how serious his ankle was, the injury. I would love to see him in that role.
Let's keep it a buck. We talking about Nick Sirianni led team. We've had Devontae Smith here all season, who no one can outrun, and we haven't done one sweep yet. So hoping that we're going to do it is one thing, but expecting us to do it, you're just setting yourself up to be upset and drink a full bottle during the game, because you're probably not going to see it. We're going to get into Sirianni later on, but you know how he is. We all know how he is. He's never wrong.
Yeah, I got some stuff for y'all.
All right. So does anyone have any other news notes that they would like to add before we get into our Elite Performance Weakest Linc and then our review of the Browns game?
Did y'all hear the supposed rumors that Howie's supposed to be making the call to Cleveland for Myles Garrett?
Yeah, I heard the call. I heard the rumor. Until we get some confirmation, it's whatever. It's the same thing as saying he's going, but they're going to trade the dude Max Crosby to the Lions. It's just rumors and contemplation right now. Show me where we got it on paper that's happening. Then we good. Until then, I'm just one of the people. There's too many rumors out there for me to really expect them to happen, right? Like we were even told by the team in the offseason that Sirianni was just going to be a general manager. So we know we can't trust what they say. So, there's that. Diva won't even look at the camera right now, y'all. You won't even look at the camera. All right, y'all. It's that time. Of course, we're going to do ladies first because we respectable every once in a while around here. Elite performance of the game. Diva, who was your elite performance of the game?
I'm gonna have to go on with Devontae. I know somebody else will pick AJ, so I'm gonna pick the other one, Devontae.
Okay. Benny, you are our guest. Who's your elite performer?
Well, since I'm the OG in the show, I gotta go with my OG, BG. Every week this man shows up. Every week. I'm not putting anything past the offensive players or skill players, but for a man to have been here so long, he finds juice every week. And it makes, as a Philadelphia fan, sometimes I'll be thinking this boy, he was born here. He was born to play here. So, BG for me.
200, right? 200 games. It's crazy.
Eagles record.
Mm-hmm.
Who you got, Wyatt?
I'll go with Cooper DeJean. I mean, dude, they were kind of wanting to ease him in and get him to learn everything, but he went out and showed everybody why he should have been starting from the get-go. He came out there and made an immediate impact, and then he made his presence felt. And I can't wait to see what he does throughout the rest of the season here.
You son of a biscuit eater. I knew somebody was going to do it. So I already had a backup. My backup is the guy that I have personally came on this show and said you need to show more huevos, more testicular fortitude as a quarterback. Mr. Jalen Alexander Hurts. Everybody want to complain about every time he does something wrong. Well, let's give him some props when he has a good game. My man played a good game. I'm not going to give you the stats now. We're going to give you that when we talk about the game. But I will say this. Mistake-free game. And on top of that, while we doing this and doing that, let's not forget the running game wasn't really popping. So moving the ball, getting points and stuff, that was Jalen running the ball, that was Jalen throwing the ball. That was a lot of him making sure that we got enough points to win this game. Because every time it felt like to me, every time Saquon got the ball, Myles Garrett was on him like they was at a Diddy party together. So that made it difficult for the run game. And of course, we're not going to switch up what we're doing in the run game. We're just going to say, well, it didn't work in the first half, but it'll work in the second half. Yeah. So, we didn't have the type of game that we are expecting to get from Saquon. And that's okay. Sometimes the team just schemes you good. And let's not forget, the Browns are a really good defense. The offense is really bad. So the defense gets worn out at some point. They do give up points, but this is not a bad defense overall. So I'm giving Jalen Hurts his props. I'll be the first one to get on him when he be fumbling the ball and throwing interceptions and not reading things. And he wasn't perfect, right? But mistake-free week, not a fumble, not a turnover. That's what we're asking for. That's what he gave us. And 200, what was like 265 on the ground, 70, 80 something running. So I'm going to be happy with what I got from my QB1 this week. And I know a lot of people have been online still spitting venom about him. And, some people are going to do that. And I'm going to just be straight up about it here because I'm tired of being nice about it. A lot of the people that have a problem with him don't look like me and him. So what's your real problem with Jalen Hurts? Because if it's what's happening on the field, that's one thing. But if it's because you wanted someone that looks more like you and Carson Wentz, that's a different thing. And if you think I'm talking to you, I'm talking directly to you. Hot piss for you as well.
I'll be honest, I think we need one of us as a coach. That's why I should have gave Deuce Staley. Real talk. I'm just saying.
Hey, I don't have a problem with somebody having an opinion. But I'm just saying, if you're basing your opinion on actual play, that's one thing. But when you're talking straight trash halfway through a game, when you're talking straight trash because somebody having turnovers, you look across this league. This man is not even top 10 in interceptions anymore. That's how many interceptions everyone else is throwing.
No, I think Dak outbeat him on Sunday.
You know what I'm saying? No, a lot of people have outbeat him. And granted, we've had the bye week, so he's had one less week to throw. So granted, but I'm saying being outside of the top 10 for a guy that the first couple of weeks, he was like, bro, can you stop throwing interceptions? And then a couple of fumbles. But again, clean football this week. I'm happy with it. I'm good with it. I want more, but he's done enough for me. So I'm giving him his props because I'm tired of everybody dumping on my QB. Even with the crappy play calling, he's getting the job done. All right. So that's that. Thank you guys for bearing with me. I just had to get that off my chest. I've been holding it in since about 1:15 on Sunday because it started right after the game started. Real crazy. All right. And we'll move on to the weakest link. So for those of you who may be watching for the first time, our elite performance of the game pretty much speaks for itself. The weakest link should speak for itself. And yes, the spelling is on purpose. Diva, again, who was your weakest link of this game?
Nick Sirianni.
I knew somebody was going to say it.
Benny?
Darius Slay.
Oh, that's a good one. I'm going to go with Nakobe Dean.
I'm not going to say this name probably again all season, but I got to say Saquon Barkley.
Oh,
but I got to say Saquon Barkley. Not because he didn't give the effort, not because he wasn't trying, but the production wasn't there as we've seen through the first 4 games with him. And I don't think it'll happen again. And I will even say this. In his defense, even though I got to make him my weakest link, in his defense, he had a big run. It was like Mailata or Dickerson, somebody got in his way. Like he had a run.
mm-hmm.
Like it was like a big hole open. He's hitting it. And all of a sudden, one of the big linemen just tackled him, literally, just knock him down. So I think if he gets that, we're having a different discussion because I think he goes all the way. Because once he gets by everybody, he's done. But if wishes were fishes, we'd all be swimming in pools. So I got to go with what actually happened. So hopefully I won't have to ever say this again, but I'm going to go with Saquon Barkley. But if I was going with a reason why that happened, it would be who Diva said. It's her weakest link.
Mm-hmm.
That hurt a little bit for me to fix my mouth to say, oh, it hurt.
I didn't have to say Bryce Huff this week because he actually was noticed. Like he made some form of impact this week.
Yeah, I'm sitting there watching the game like Bryce Huff is out here playing. If y'all go out here and waste a Bryce Huff performance and we lose, like what is going on? You know what I'm saying? Cooper DeJean. And the thing about DeJean is I feel like it took him some time to kind of grasp everything. Because when he did get back at the end of training camp, he was getting burnt left and right. But when you see a couple of games, when you practice, when you got AJ and Devontae out there to go against, right, and Dotson, even though he hasn't been used properly yet, when you got these kind of guys out there, it gives you a chance to get better. And I think he's used that, and now he's ready to step in, and he looked really good this week. I definitely want to say, even though Wyatt, we already talked about him, we already moved on, but he just played really good. All right, let's hit the comments real quick, y'all. Go back to Philly with the what's going on. Then we got Key checking us out. Key says, what up, y'all? What up, Key?
What's up,
and
Key?
Key's picking Grant. I think she's saying Grant Calcaterra. She put G. She might be like me trying to type somewhere you shouldn't really be typing it. And that happens. But yeah, Grant Calcaterra actually played really well as well. Big reason that Devontae got the touchdown. Key says, what's up, Benny? And Key also says, Nick is goofy ass.
Facts.
And she says,
100%.
Yeah, laugh out loud. And all those things are true. He definitely
That's my name in the chat that I be using all the time, y'all.
Well, you know what I call him. I got 2 names for him. Silly Sirianni and Nicky Tight Pants. And he's earned them both. And he better watch it. He's going to be doofus next.
He's been doofus in my book.
I haven't said it yet, though. Well, I guess
that's true. That's true.
I guess I just did, huh?
It was preview.
Pretty much. All right, y'all. So, week 6, Cleveland Browns, Philadelphia Eagles. All I can say is crazy work. Crazy work. We won the game. Crazy
Barely.
work. Diva,
Well, at least
go ahead. Kick us off. What's your thoughts on that game?
Although Jalen played good, the game management and play calling was trash. It was garbage. Of course, we could not really score in the first quarter. That's been a problem for us. Um,
Season.
really, the main thing is the play calling. Like, if you look at where he has Jalen throw the ball, like it's no middle passes. It's to the left or to the right, and then the fact that they have Jalen sitting in the pocket so long, like that one play, I think I said it in the chat. I was like, Jalen, why are you sitting in the pocket? All you had to do was tuck it and run. You had space to run, like you had plenty of space to run. Stop trying to make them make you be a pocket passer. That is not your game. You are a dual threat. You are what Michael Vick was to the Eagles. When you don't see nobody open, you tuck that thing and you run. That's all you got to do, because it's clear that Nick is not going to stop meddling in the play calling. It's clear. You can tell what calls are Kellen Moore. You can tell basically what calls are Nick Sirianni. That was a Nick Sirianni play. Just point blank, period. When you see us passing, we like 3rd and 2 or 3rd. I think it was one time it was like 3rd and 3 and they were passing. And I'm like, run the ball. Like, what are you passing it for? Run the ball. But for us to struggle against the Browns, like, yeah, they do have a good defense. And their defense probably just now clicked on that game. But it's always funny how defenses find a way to click with the Eagles. Like, they could play garbage for the first 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. But as soon as they play the Eagles, honey, they find a way. They get it together right then, right there. And that is because they study film. Like, I just really don't believe that we really study film. And if we do, I'm not gonna say all the players don't. I believe some of the players do. But when it comes to game day, it's like we're listening to the calls that are being called. And if they're not working, you're on the field. You see what's going on. All you gotta do is change the play. Just change it. Like, Jalen, I don't want to see you backpedaling and then sitting in the pocket, and then you're either gonna have to throw it down the field, throw it out of bounds, or get sacked. Like, that's the only 3 options for you sitting in the pocket. You're not a pocket passer, man. You've never been a pocket passer. That is what's burning me up, because I feel like that's why we can't get the scores that we need in the first quarter. Like, we haven't scored in the first quarter all season.
All season.
All season.
Only
Not
That is
field goal, nothing.
nothing. That is ridiculous. That is uncalled for us not to score 1 point in the first quarter. I'm sick of it. Like, I'm sick of it. The defense, they play better. They still missing tackles. I don't understand that. But that hit that Keely Ringo did.
Oof. We stood over him too. Had some
You
attitude.
heard that hit. You hear me? Boy,
Mhm.
oh boy, I didn't think he was gonna get off. Oh, he hurt. Oh, he hurt.
I was
But
like,
I
man,
mean,
you the penalty, you keep on.
but I'm glad to
Not
see
even
him out
doing
there,
that.
like, making plays. But defense played better. They did have some missed tackles, a lot of missed tackles, but they played a lot better than they played before the bye week. And last week. But overall, it's just the offense. We got to get going. Like, we got to get going first quarter. We cannot be sitting in the games we got coming up. We cannot be not affording to score in the first quarter. Like, we should have been up on them. What? It should have been like 20-7 or 20-7 in the beginning. Like, they kept giving us chances to score. Like, they would get the ball and it'd be like 3rd and 20, and then they get a penalty and be like 3rd and 24. And they just kept having these long 3rd downs, which end up having to kick the ball away or kick a field goal. So it ain't a reason why we really should have struggled against the Browns. Like, yeah, they do got a good defense, but if we would have just got started in the beginning, we would have been all right. That made no sense for us to be gasping if we were going to beat them or not.
Let's switch it up a little bit. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything Diva said. I don't understand a lot of the decisions as far as play calling goes, especially to start these games. Like, you have, I think it was like a 5-yard run by Saquon to start out, and then you decide to throw it deep twice in a row to AJ. I just don't understand why they are trying to force these big plays. It was exactly what they were doing last year. Like, they were just sending them down the sideline, and then I don't know if they were just hoping to draw a pass interference, but they did it twice in a row. They did it like once to AJ and then once to Devontae. And then they've done it multiple times up until I think it was like later in the second quarter. That's when they kind of started developing a rhythm a little bit, and then they lost it a little bit because due to some play calling in the third and to the rest of the game. But it's just so many weird situational calls. Just like Diva said, you had that one, it was like 3rd and 1, and Nick Sirianni said he's the one that called the play, but you dropped Jalen back at 3rd and 1 whenever you needed points on the board at that point, and he got sacked. So why weren't you either running with Saquon, who you have, or using the brotherly shove, which would have easily got you multiple yards? Like, it just doesn't make sense why they're coming up with some of these decisions. I don't have too many problems with the defense because I mean, without that, blocked field goal, them running it back for a touchdown, they're holding them pretty tight. We would have been blowing them out. So I mean, I think the defense did their job. The offense, I think there is something you can kind of take out of this game to build off of. That seemed like it was kind of a step in the right direction, but at the same time, you're seeing everybody kind of post on like social media, like Twitter, Instagram, what have you, of like these different pass charts, like from Kellen Moore's offensive throughout the past couple of years, and they look nothing like what's happening this year. Like there's nothing in the middle of the field really. There was in the first couple games, and we were seeing a lot more motion against the Packers, against the Falcons, and since then, the motion has been going down through these last couple games. And I just want to know why. Like, what's going on with this offense where it seems like they're going away from what was working previously? And I don't want to go with the just like, oh, they're trying to hide certain things from the opponents, or they're not trying to use everything early in the season. It was like, we need everything we got, because they're just sputtering out here, not able to get points in the first couple quarters. It just doesn't make sense. You have way too much talent to be wasting it on these dumb plays that you're calling, and there's just no consistency and no rhythm to it, and it just doesn't seem like they have an identity. Like they don't seem like they want to know what they want to do. Like, we should be utilizing the run most of the time to open up the pass game, like we've talked about over the past couple weeks, but for some reason they want to try to force big plays whenever they're not even there, or not even drawing them up to make the big plays. You're not scheming anybody open. You've only seen that a couple of times, like the Devontae touchdown. They actually schemed him open, but we didn't see much of that throughout the rest of the game. I think they only ran play action like 2 or 3 times that whole game, where they were running it a lot more previously in the opening weeks of the season. And I just feel like they're going away from what was actually working previously. And for some reason, I don't know why. Maybe they're just overcomplicating things. Maybe they're just, if they are watching film, maybe they're just taking the wrong things away from that film that they're watching. And I feel like that has a lot to do with Sirianni. And I know he makes all these, excuses, and it's all on him, but like, it doesn't seem like there's anything changing week from week to show us that he's willing to change, or willing to let Kellen Moore be more involved with this offense like he should be.
Benny, what do you got for us?
That game should have been a blowout. Being just sitting there watching it, I really didn't enjoy the game. Because, number one, not the Browns' defense is good, but they wasn't fully loaded. They had a lot of injuries. We didn't exploit any of the weakness of the defense. The main person that we have to worry about on that defense was mainly Myles Garrett, who was wrecking stuff, especially with that blocked field goal. And Denzel Ward, I do believe he went out for a little bit, but came back in. But when he came back in, he wasn't the same. He didn't exploit that. I'm seeing a whole lot of 2023. A whole lot of 2023. And I'm starting to feel that after this game, I got this funny feeling we're about to go deeper and deeper and deeper down. It's like somebody is trying to sabotage the team because he knows that he ain't going to be here next year. But first quarter, I ain't never, ever. This is first time in Eagles history, that we never scored in the first quarter. Even on the baddest team, from Rich Kotite and I ain't gonna say Chip Kelly was a bad thing.
Ray Rhodes.
Ray Rhodes. Even back, at least we got a field goal. My take from them not scoring is because the first 15 plays they run, they are nicks. They are nicks.
I would agree with that.
You know, I watch a lot of football. Yeah, I don't like using this word, but I hate Dallas with a passion. But I respect Kellen Moore. I watched them play in college. I watched them play in the pros. So here this guy got the knowledge from playing the game and then learned how to coach the game. And I saw how he was running the show for Dallas. How many times did you see Dallas score 14 points in the first quarter when he was calling plays? Where's that? You know where it is? It's locked up in his desk because Nick don't want that. He don't want Kellen to run the show because once he run that show, it's going to be just like when we had Steichen. Everybody going to be praising him, and Nick ain't going to get no. That's the problem. That's the problem.
So let me first give y'all some little bit of statisticals from the game, right? Because sometimes you need little statisticals to put things in perspective. So passing, Jalen Hurts, 16-25, 264, 2 touchdowns. I must have seen more running yards than actually happened, maybe in my mind. But Saquon Barkley had 18 rushes, 47 yards, only 2.6 average. That's why I had to make him my weakest link, even though I didn't really want to, because you got to acknowledge that. Hurts had 14 for 33 for 2.4. Gainwell had 3 for 23, 7.7. Dotson had 1 for 13. So Dotson did do a little something in the run game as well as caught a ball or two, right? Caught 1 for 10. AJ, 6 for 116 and a touchdown. Calcaterra, 4 for 67. Smitty, 3 for 64 and a touchdown. Defensively, no picks. Jalen Carter got a sack. And this is what I wanted to see. Jalen Carter got a sack. DeJean got half a sack. Josh Sweat got a sack. Nolan Smith Jr. got a sack.
Jordan Davis.
Bryce Huff got half a sack. Milton Williams got half a sack. Thomas Booker got half a sack. I'm trying to see if it shows me.
Don't forget Jomo.
I'm looking through the list. Now Davis didn't get a sack. I was checking that first. Jomo got a sack too. Yes, not showing it on. But I'm looking at like one of the breakdowns. It shows like some of the players and not necessarily everything. So as a team, look at the team stats for these, right? And let's look at the defense because we know what happened on offense. Offense was all right. We had 372 total yards, 256 passing. They have over 100 rushing total together, 6 yards per play. But important thing, we got sacks. We got 5 sacks on the Browns. We had like 4 sacks the entirety of the season before this game. So big thing there. We talk about the game. And when we talk about Sirianni, I'm going to give my thoughts on Sirianni. I'm going to talk about what I saw positive in the game and a couple things I may not have been too happy with. Special teams, letting Myles Garrett get through there and block that field goal. Anytime you see Myles Garrett on the field, there should be everything focused on stopping him. That's just unacceptable from that concept. Now, block field goal, you're probably like, oh, it's not going to happen much. Of course not. But of course, it happened to the Eagles right before halftime. And of course, Rodney McLeod would pick it up and run it back, former Eagle, who we probably should have kept with some of the people replacing. We probably should have kept, but that's a different story. But Rodney McLeod runs it back. So they get 7 points from that. So a lot of people are upset about the game, but if we're looking at 20-9, are those same people as upset? And of course, they're going to say, oh, yeah, it doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. But truthfully speaking, If they only get 9 points and we get 20, we're not as upset. We do feel like we should have won by more, but there's not so much quote unquote outrage. In my opinion, agree with me, disagree with me. That's my opinion. Now, when we look at the actual game, of course, always no points in the first quarter. That's got to change. We should at least be able to get a field goal. I do agree. I think those are Sirianni scripted plays, and I think Kellen Moore needs to, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. Kellen Moore, you're the OC. You're supposed to be the play caller. You got to start saying, look, man, what you're doing is it's not working, right? The way you're having the plays called, what you're trying to override, your little 15-play script to show people that, yeah, I got it. Keep in mind, Sirianni, wide receiver in college, never made it to the pros, never had a talent. So what does he want to see be successful? Wide receivers. You see why all this foolishness is starting to happen, all these big plays down the field like we're playing Tecmo Bowl, like we're playing Madden on easy mode? That's because he wants big numbers for wide receivers, because he wants to live vicariously through these gentlemen, because he never got the shot. But back to the actual game. Turnover free. So while there's so many things we can complain about, this play wasn't made, that play wasn't made, we didn't see the ball go here enough, keep in mind, there was a really great pass on a third down. I think it was like a 3rd and 8 or 7 or something to Smitty that the dude got his hand in. It really, I felt like should have been pass interference, but wasn't called. But also, I know Smitty's a small guy, but we need to get some of them hand joints for you, bro. You got to be able to hold that ball and try to get it to you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can't all the time, but it feels like with Smitty, every time there's someone there, they get a hand in or whatever, they get that ball out. So we need to work with Smitty, got to work on gripping that ball and holding it and get it to the ground on those plays. We got to get some of them. I'm not saying you're going to get every play, but you got to get some of them, because that's not necessarily body strength, that's hand strength. That's you being able to grip that ball and take that contact that you know is coming. So we need a little bit of that from you. He makes that play, perhaps we go down and get some points, right? End of the game, they really should have got another touchdown and had this at 27-16. That should have happened. You should not stop scoring when you're already up. You're up by 4, you go get another touchdown, you're up by 11. There's no 11-point play. Game's over. But instead, Sirianni, let's just take the win and, get down the field. Let's get a big play to AJ, but let's not try to do anything with it. Let's just, run the clock out. And you wonder why fans are yelling at you. But we'll get to that in a few minutes. The other thing I want to say about this game is I'm used to seeing the Eagles come out of a bye and be better than this. So the head coach has to take the blame for both sides of the ball not being as crisp as they could be coming off of a bye. There were some players that played really well, but there were some times that players did not play well. You did not adjust to what they were doing to take Saquon Barkley out of the game. You did not try anything differently. No off tackles. No, reverses or anything. Nothing. Bland vanilla. Not working, but we're going to keep doing it. We won the game, so I'm not going to go too far. We won the game, but I definitely agree we have to be better. I'm going to go as far as say I'm seeing last season, because I honestly believe last season we lose this game. Because last season we got a donut hole in the middle on defense, and they're going to get 4 more points. So I think this was last year we lose this game. So I commend the players for saying we're not going to go out here and lose to the Browns. No matter what stupidness they're doing, what's going on with Nick trying to call plays on offense, trying to make suggestions to the defense, we're not losing to the Browns. And the players I commend for that win, not this coaching staff. I really had to think about that, guys, because Monday, that would have been different. But it's not. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back. Got a couple of topics we're going to discuss regarding Mr. Slay, and we're going to dig a little bit deeper into one Nikki Tight Pants as well. We will be back.
Drew Willingham.
In this case, yeah, you put the blame on Kyle Shanahan for apparently not preparing the team enough for the overtime rules, supposedly.
Cole Johnson.
Peyton was considered a winner, and he was the darling of all darlings for Gerald.
With a special appearance by Tyrone Alizé McDummy.
Ain't nobody calling me. Text delete, 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 delete.
Join these two football enthusiasts as they give you Total Football Talk. Live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central on the Sertoba Media and the Comey Media YouTube channels. Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to I can beat the black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel. Cool McCain.
You thought you wanted Gunther against Chad Gable, but you didn't. And I'm going to tell you why. Chad Gable would take everything that Gunther's done and bury it.
The Playmaker.
It was on site. AJ Styles walked out there seeing LA like, oh, okay, then LA Knight hopped out the car, let's go.
Break down everything in TNA, AEW, and all of the WWE programming. Join these two kings, monarchs of wrestling, live every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Central on the Play Caller Sports Talk YouTube channel.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we're back. So 2 things real quick. Number 1, shout out 502 Angel Radio up in Indiana, where you will be hearing us, and shout out to everybody who's listening on there. Also, if you're watching this live, if you're listening to this on one of the stations that it's played on, if you go to http://bit.ly/Shady Sports Network -bet US, and you place your bets using this link for your games, because a lot of people are betting. You can help your peoples over here be able to do some things to step up the performance, or the presentation, I should say, of said program that you're listening to or watching. So if you're gonna bet anyway, why not help your peoples out? Since you listening, you supporting us, you part of the fam. So that being said, time to get back to it. So, question for everyone. I'm actually going to go first on this question because I always tell everybody else to go first. And before Diva says, when are you going to go first? I'm going to go ahead and go first now, because I know it's coming. Has Slay ran his course in Philly? My answer to this question is very simple. He's very close to it. If he's not there yet, he's on the precipice. You know how you're on the end of the mountain and you, like, your heel ain't fell off yet, but you right there? He's got to be there. And the reason is, there's already the mouth and all that stuff, right? And the stuff he's been saying over the past couple of years, not supporting his teammate, letting this dude that's an enemy, even though they might be your friend in real life during a season, he's an enemy. I don't even talk to some of my friends or the fans of other teams during the year, especially if we playing them, or especially if they're in the division. Nah, we're not doing that. And you're going to let him talk about one of your teammates. But here's the reason why I think he's starting to run his course. You notice when he went out, we had a lot more press, a lot more man coverage. on the defense. You know why that is? I'll tell you a little secret. He's losing some of that speed. He can't recover like he used to. Isaiah Rodgers can still recover. Quinyon Mitchell can still recover. Keely Ringo can still recover. And kudos to the Eagles for actually putting Ringo in a little bit. I know it was because Rodgers got a little banged up for a couple of plays, but at least they put him in. We need to be younger on the defense because we can't always play off because one person can't guard man to man anymore like he used to. You adding him out, you adding him out, he's getting paid. How he always talking about retirement and all that. And I won't say he's necessarily ran his course, but I'm gonna say he's near the finish line in Philly. Benny, you our guest. What's your thoughts?
You know that broken toenail that won't come off. You be wanting that thing to just fall off. That's so. His course has ran. It's over. You know, because you're looking at these young guys. You know, mainly Ringo. Oh my God. I knew the boy had it. I watched him so many times at Georgia. And then I'm seeing him work out, you know, his YouTube workout. And I'm like, the look in his eyes. He want that smoke. He wants that smoke. And what's the best way to push somebody out? You got to go hard. He's been going hard. He took his lumps last year. I was glad that he got in some games last year because, you know, Trash Barry, you know, wasn't fulfilling his duties. So, Slay, I told you what I did with his jersey, right?
Yeah. You burnt it.
It was in the comments last week, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, look, as soon as I burnt Carson Wentz t-shirt, Slay's was even faster. Because some of you don't. My best friend is a Dallas Cowboys fan, but he's older than me. So, I mean, I talks to him. I hang with him. We can joke around, but he respects my team. I respect his team. He knows when his team is trash. I know when my team is trash. But for me to go up there and be cracking jokes, talking about my teammate, when did you ever see Reggie White do that? Even though they ain't had social media back then. When did you see Fletcher Cox do that? They don't understand about the rivalry. Slay should know. He been in this league how long now?
Oh, he understand. He just don't care.
You know, we ain't gonna never forget that. One thing about here in Philly, when we hold a grudge, we forgive you. We ain't gonna forget. We ain't gonna forget. So I'm gonna say, if he go out this game, the next game they play, if he get nicked up and go to the sideline, and either Rodgers come in or Ricks, I think that might be his last game.
It's gonna be Rodgers. If he goes out, it's gonna be Rodgers.
Man. He's out of here.
Diva, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think Slay has run his course. Slay been in the league since 2013. And when you get to the point where you don't want to make heavy hits because you're worried about your kids and, you know, getting dementia or whatever that boy said. I can't remember what he said. Then you know it's time for you to go. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you felt like that when we wanted to trade you, year 4 last, when we traded CJ GJ, why don't you just retire in? Like, you wanted to be here. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like he ain't got it no more. Like, Slay been in the league for a long time. You know, when he was with Detroit, like, he would hit you with it. But now he just want to be out there, I guess, just making fun of everything. And what he say, I'm the one to make you laugh. I'm not the one that's gonna be arguing. So I think, I think he done ran his course. I think it's time for Slade to go on, lay down somewhere, go and be on somebody's sideline, somebody cheerleader somewhere, because football days for him is over. Or be on the podcast with Michael Parsons, because I'm tired of seeing that all the time. Like every week, that's all you see is them two, and I'm like, bro, we in the middle of a season. Like it's cool off season, but we're literally in the middle. Now watch when we play Dallas the next few weeks. This dude gonna be whatever day we play. The next day he gonna be on there with Michael Parsons. Like we ain't just played him, but you played a good game, bro. You played a good game.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't got time for that. Slave, just go on with your little pretty wife and retire and take care of your kids. My G.
Close us out with this. Wyatt, what you got?
Yeah, I mean, exactly what Diva was saying. It's like he came out, when was it, like a year or two ago, saying about, he wants to save his body for, after football, and, wants to help raise his kids and stuff. And it's like, after that, you kind of get the, assumption that he's not putting his all into the game. And I think just watching him out there, you can kind of tell. You're like, yeah, he doesn't want to throw his body into these tackles. He's not going head first in dudes. It just doesn't seem like it's all there. He's playing 10 yards back. And I feel like as Philly fans, over recent years, we've had to deal with so much bad, cornerback play, that when we traded for Slay, it was a huge deal. And he gave us a couple good years, but now that we actually saw him go out and we have decent cornerbacks to come out and back him up, it seems like the youth movement is here, and it's, we kind of see all the flaws with Slay. Whereas before it was like, yeah, we're used to bad quarterback play. Slay's the best thing we got. We got Ballberry out here getting burnt toast. Josh Jobs out here amongst a lot of the other cornerbacks that we have that just didn't pan out. So Slay was he was the best thing we had. So, I mean, now that we actually went out and got a decent roster of cornerbacks, and we're actually seeing them put something together that looks decent out on the field, they're actually playing, up on the receivers, playing press. That's what we want. And I just have a feeling that because he's Darius Slay, because he's making this money, doesn't matter how he's playing. I feel like they're going to have him out there starting, because that's just the Eagles. They're not going to want to bench him or try to rotate him like we've been saying all year so far. Like, why aren't you rotating him out? Like, I understand you want Slay in there, but you got to rotate him at least. Put Rodgers in there, put Ringo in there, because we've seen what they can do whenever they're actually in there and given the chance. So I feel like they have to make an adjustment, and if he's not willing to make that adjustment, it's time to move on. Like I know that there's rumors about him possibly be on a trade block, and I am all for it right now, because there's other needs we need to address. Because obviously it seems like we have the cornerback situation figured out as of right now. But yeah, I definitely think he's run his course, just between the podcasts and everything. Like, how you not going to stick up for your teammate? You're just going to let the ops out here clowning on your dude? Like, I don't know. And then the way that his apology came out, and he didn't really address that part of it. He just wanted to talk about how good of a leader he is and what kind of leader, without saying, like, yeah, you let your boy get clowned by Michael Parsons on podcast. And then you went on again a week or so later. Like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like you're losing the Philly fans. And as soon as you start losing that Philly fans and then you're not playing good, it's downhill from there.
All right. So Nick Sirianni strikes again.
Oh Lord.
So let me clarify this, right? So a couple of
ball
things.
Head.
The ball head, terrible look for you, bro, but hey, it's on you. We are 1-0 with him with the ball head, but it was against the Browns. So there's that too. All right.
Bald streak starts.
Play calling. You meddled in the defense, at least to an extent. Vic Fangio did clarify in his press conference that he was saying, like, oh, you should do this. He was giving a suggestion, and the suggestion he gave would not have worked. They did something different. It didn't work either, but it was similar, kind of, but not exactly what Sirianni said. But Sirianni's play would suck because of Sirianni. And he's silly. All right. Offensively, you're still affecting play calling. Everything is going to the outsides because he wants the big plays, and the big plays normally go where? To the outsides, right? 95% of the time, you want these deep flies, these deep routes. They're going to go outside. They're going to end up outside because you can't just run in the middle of the field all the way down the field because there's zones and people are going to double team you, triple team if you do that. We say things like some people say, "Oh, Jalen can't throw the ball in the middle of the field." How do we know? No, the plays never have anybody there.
Yeah, you're not doing anything to.
I mean, I'm not saying that he can, but I'm saying you can't say he can because the plays aren't going there. Or if they do, it's like one guy will do a shallow cross and then everybody else goes deep, and then the one guy that does a shallow cross is where he can't see him because he's got rush coming.
Well,
He
they
gotta
did go in
get
the
out
middle
to
of
the
the
top.
field when we had Steichen. They did go in the middle of the field, and we
Right.
had short passes.
But I'm just saying. So we can't really say that it's him. This to me is Sirianni, right? But the main thing, if you want to touch on those, it's fine. But the main thing I want to get to with Sirianni, arguing with a fan after the game. I'm gonna let y'all guys cook, and I'll go last. We'll start with Wyatt, Diva, Benny, then me. And that way, if I need to cut some time, we'll be able to do that. Wyatt, what are your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a terrible look for Sirianni, and I know that he's done it before, but I mean, especially, with the record we've had over like the past, 15, 16 games going back to last year, it's not good. Like, you're not in a good spot. Everybody you have the fans out here chanting fire Sirianni during a game, and then you want to go and talk trash after you barely beat one of the worst teams in the league. It's not a good look. And then especially after, what was it, the Saints, whenever Jalen Carter was out there, yapping at the end of the game, he was the one, and Dom were out there, yelling at him, telling him to calm down. And then a couple weeks later, you out here doing the exact same thing. It's like, you need to have your composure, man. And isn't that what Dom's for too? Like, you actually have one of the only coaches in the league to have a babysitter on the sideline to, hold you in check. And that still isn't stopping you. And like, I know you have like these reports saying like Jalen and other players are telling him to be himself and, all this. And it's like, there's a certain way you can go about that, but not going at fans, thinking that you're one of the best coaches in the league, you're out here to prove something. And that's exactly what you're getting with a lot of the play calling that's happening here. And similar to Slay, I feel like it's just running its course. You're losing the Philly fans. You're interfering way too much with this offense and apparently defense, even though you're just giving suggestions. I don't know. It's not what we were promised during the offseason about exactly what he was going to be doing. And there are some rumors and reports saying that the organization had a talking with him after this game. Like, I don't know if it was Lori or Howie, but I don't know. Apparently they came down on
Probably
Nick and then he
Howie.
had the press conference. Probably not Howie. Howie's his best friend.
About goddamn time somebody said something.
But
what
somebody
is
needs to
saying
do
something
something.
gonna do? That's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna fix nothing.
No. And I mean, the press conference right after the game was terrible. Just like, even more so given how terrible all of his press conferences are. It was really bad considering. But I don't know if there's much more that he can do to even win back this fan base, or unless they go on a winning streak. But even at that point, I feel like that's going to be more like props to the players and some of the offensive coordinators or like the actual staff than Sirianni. I don't think Sirianni is the mastermind behind any of this, like winning culture within the locker room. I think it's just the players trying to come together to try to get some wins somehow.
Go ahead, dude.
Yeah, I've seen him chirp, but I don't think I've seen him chirp with our fans in particular. I've seen him chirp with other teams' fans. But for him to chirp back at our fans because we're screaming fire you because we know that you're meddling in this offense and you're causing a very talented team to not be successful as they should be, and we know as fans they should be. Yeah, what do you expect, dude? We wanted you fired last year. You know what I mean? But Howie was the one that came through and was Superman, super save a hoe, and saved your whole ass. Okay. All right. So that's what happened there. But I don't even know how much more saving that Howie's gonna be able to do, honestly, because it's getting ridiculous. Like, we all see through you. Now, Nick, we can see straight through you, my dude. That's why you're out there looking like a crackhead now. Mm-hmm. Look like a straight crackhead now. Because you're stressed. And I hope we keep putting that pressure on the owner to finally grow some you-know-whats and say, that's it, Howie. I don't care what you say. He's gone. He has a talented team that he's not doing anything with. And as you can see, none of the talent comes from Sirianni. Not even if you go back to 2022. That came from Steichen and Gannon. So stop giving him credit for, he won such and such games in the first 2. No, he didn't win anything. Okay. He was just a cheerleader. That was Steichen that won those games. That was Steichen that helped Jalen to develop and be able to be what he was in 2022 because he knew how to play to his abilities. Nick knows nothing about quarterback's abilities. He barely knows about wide receiver. That's probably like the only spot that he really knows. He darn sure don't know about a running back ability, as you can see. So yeah, it's time for him to go, man. He should have been gone last year. We would probably be maybe undefeated right now. Maybe lost just one game. We wouldn't be looking how we looking and about to have a heart attack every week.
Benny?
Well, y'all gonna have a heart attack because I ain't having a heart attack because I'm immune to the bull crap that he's bringing because I've seen it before. Not just by him, but here's the thing. He knew he was about to get ripped. Do you ever see this man, after a loss, bring his kids to the press conference? Never see him bring his kids on to the press conference when he lose. It's only when we win or there's a little controversy after the win or whatever. And one thing that I hate about the Philadelphia media, their questions are pre-scripted by the PR of the team. See, with us, this is our platform. We can't get fined by the Philadelphia Eagles for speaking our mouth. So you have, I forgot how many of us was in attendance at the game Sunday, but everybody in that stadium, that was our platform. If we want to say fire Nick, that's our God's given right. If he want to get touchy and be a little fag wag and get into his feelings, that's his God given right. But if you would have came in here and do the job you're supposed to do and live up to the promise that you made to us, what was it, back in 2021? And you wouldn't be acting like knowing that you're about to get canned and you want to sabotage because you don't have the capability or the intelligence to run an offense. Maybe they wouldn't have to hire Kellen Moore. And for us to be sitting up there, man, and I was in the nosebleed section. I couldn't afford the tickets. So, but you can hear everybody say, fire Nick. The whole stadium was saying. From the first quarter up until the end of the game. Everything that had every bad play, that's all you heard. That's why he was in this building. And who is he to say to us we shouldn't boo our team? We have every right to boo this team. If they are not playing like we know they can play, and we spend all this money to go see the team, go to the game, understand this, Nick. We work hard all week. We put up with bull crap from our bosses, co-workers. So when a weekend comes, what do we have to live for when this weekend? Our beloved birds. Just to go out here knowing that we don't want to punch nobody on our job. So we want to go see our team hit another player because they letting out our frustration, making us happy, bringing us a win. You want to know about Philadelphia culture? This is Philadelphia culture. We live for the birds. We really live for this team. I'm getting emotional because I'm getting sick and tired of maybe next year. I don't know how many years I got left. I'm getting tired of arguing with Cowboys fans. come see me when y'all get a Super Bowl. Okay, we get a Super Bowl. I'm now come see me when y'all get 4 more. Yo, you come see me when y'all win one in this decade.
Century. Excuse me.
But Nick, I knew he wasn't the guy for us when he that first press conference. But let me tell you this, you know, and then when he said plant the flowers, oh, if I want to plant a flower, I'll go. I get a yard and plant my own flowers. Where do flowers come into have anything to do with football?
You don't know.
No clue. No clue.
I mean,
Nick is silly.
Cheating Belichick over him. I'm just saying. Not saying I want him here, but I would take Belichick.
I don't want him. We should have hired Deuce Staley. That's what we should.
Because the thing is, Belichick sucks without Tom Brady. So you're just gonna bring another guy that sucks, and he's gonna want, and he thinks he's better than he is too. So you just be bringing in an old Sirianni.
Oldest area, a douchebag.
Just not a silly.
Yeah, older
maybe
but not
more,
silly.
Maybe a senile Sirianni.
Yeah.
You know, but at least he'll tell his players to do their job. Wait a minute, hold on. Sorry, I ain't gonna see that because their job is to. Some of those people on the side has got cameras and looking for signs and getting our play calls. My bad. I totally forgot we was talking about cheating Belichick. But
right.
Yep. All right. So Old Man Mob says, "How we doing, my brother? Cool. The man, the legend Wyatt, and can't forget the boss of all bosses, Eagles Diva. What up, old man? I know you've been rocking with us for a while, so appreciate you checking in with us, man. I know you're having a hard season with the Pats, but hey, you had some good seasons, so I know you ain't too mad. I'm gonna just be real simple with Nick Sirianni. Nick Sirianni, I'm gonna need you to shut up. I'm gonna need you to learn how to do your job, and also I'm gonna need you to stop being Carl Thomas. Okay, you're a football coach. The team doesn't look good. You're gonna get the blame. If you don't like that, then go away. I was about to say something else, but I caught myself at the last moment. Go away. All I want is for you to do what you said you were going to do this all season. Manage the personalities. Every once in a while, if you want to say, hey, maybe I think you should do a run here, or hey, maybe I think you should do this defense because I think they're going to do this, that's fine. Stop calling plays. Stop being part of the script. Stop overstepping your boundaries. Your OC is supposed to call plays. Let him do his job. And one more time, shut up. Don't argue with no more fans. Don't do it. It's Bush League. You look whack. And you think that's going to make anybody respect you anymore? You think those players in the locker room like this dude out here arguing with our fans? The people that support us, the people that pay their money to come see us play, the people that watch us on TV, the people that buy the merchandise. You're going to yell at them? Well, it's really smart. That's why you silly Sirianni. Ish like that. And I'm going to leave it there. There's so much more I can say. I'm going to leave it there. All right, guys. Our last topic of the night. Before we get there, we're going to take one more commercial break. Y'all know what's next. We have to discuss the upcoming matchup. But before then, another quick break.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy, and now begins a future one of matrimony or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network proudly presents The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday morning beginning April 29th at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central. Rams fans all around the world.
It's a beautiful thing to be a Rams fan right now. Stafford's back. We're going to see about Cup. and running back Kerryon Williams to return.
Lend me your ears, or should I say lend Playmaker your ears, as he breaks down week by week everything in the Los Angeles Rams canon.
Number 99, Aaron Donald. Can't wait for 2029 to come to know that you are going in the Hall of Fame, and it should be first ballot, no questions asked.
Join the Playmaker as he breaks down everything Los Angeles Rams style in Ramily Talk on the Playmakers Blog Network YouTube channel and where you can find podcasts. Oh, yes. The tradition, the pageantry, the spectacle, the history, the slut. Wait. I gotta rep my brother's stuff right. All my DMV soldiers, stand up! And welcome to the Commander's Gridiron Report. You want your commanders to be repped right? Well, D. Willie is your man. Commander's Gridiron Report. Every Tuesday at 11:05 a.m. Eastern, 10:05 a.m. Central on the Sotoba Media YouTube channel. Music by Join Ryan McCarthy.
I became a Jets fan because Kermit the Frog was my favorite Muppet because he was green, and the Jets wore green. That's how I became a Jets fan.
And Dustin Henry.
ESPN is cashing all in on let's pay a few personalities and we'll just kind of fill in the gaps.
As they walk you through all of the world of sports from their perspective.
The Albany Empire, it's a literal circus.
No credentials required. Where, Ryan, say the tag.
Where you don't need a press pass to talk sports.
Live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central on YouTube and where you can find podcasts.
All right, good people. We're back in the building. Got one thing left to talk about. We got a game coming up this week, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're not aware, because you were in the Matrix, so pissed off at old silly himself that you didn't take stock of what's happening in the game that we have is against a team that we know very well. Saquon knows even better. New York Giants. So I'm going to start off with this. Our offense versus the Giants defense. What you think is going to happen? And again, I'm going to go first. A.J. Brown's going to get over 100 yards this game. Devontae Smith is going to get between 90 and 95 yards this game. They're both going to have a touchdown. I don't think Dallas Goedert's going to play. Kyle Katerra may get a few passes. Saquon's going to have a $150. Saquon going to get a $150 on these boys. Saquon wants to run through everybody on that team. I know he say he's still friends with some of them, but he wants that organization to pay for disrespecting him this offseason. And they did. And if there's one game where I expect this man to hit a $150, maybe even 200, this is the one. The Browns game, he got 18 carries? So he got carries. They weren't able to really get him broken out, except for, like I said, the one where he got knocked down. I think this is the one. I think this is the game where Kellen Moore starts saying, look, man, I know these guys. I was in this division. This is a divisional team. I'm going to need you to step back a little bit. I got this, Nick. Watch me work. I've been here for 6 weeks. Week 7, watch me work, Nick. And hopefully that's what's going to happen. We're going to the defense is going to stop us some. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to score every play. Let's set it off with at least a field goal in the first quarter. Can we at least get 3 points in the first quarter? You know what I'm saying? Just 3 points. And see, 2 years ago, we ain't going to talk about last year. 2 years ago, we would start slow and then we would finish strong. Last year, we would just do whatever. This year, we starting slow and we finishing slow. At some point, we got to look good. Let's start this week. It's got to be the game plan that the OC wants to run. He has more knowledge of this division than you do, Nick. Sit down. Wyatt, we'll go with you, the Diva, and then we're going to let Benny close us out.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you 100%. We got to let Kellen out here cook, man. Got to let him run this offense. Let utilize the run. Like not
And then
just
we'll talk
because. What was
My
that?
bad. No,
Oh
I
no,
was just saying
no,
then
you're
we'll
good.
talk defense after this. Yeah. We'll go back.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
My
I
bad.
mean, you gotta like, even though Saquon, it's his old team and everything. No matter what, I don't care what team you're playing, you gotta utilize a run, utilize a run, play through the run, and Saquon should easily, like you said, have 150, multiple touchdowns. I mean, if we could have Boston Scott out here doing this thing before, why can't Saquon, especially with a better O line and
I like that.
everything? I don't know if AJ and Devontae are going to have like 90 over 100 yards each. I would love that if they're able to utilize them more. Maybe get Jahan Dotson in there. He had a couple big plays last week. It seems like maybe they're starting to like trust him a little bit as far as Hurts and that Dotson connection. Utilize him. Utilize the middle of the field as well. Like, why not? The Giants aren't great. Like, we should be able to do whatever we want, especially with the weapons we have. And this is just the offense you mentioned, right? We're not going to defense.
Correct.
All right. Yeah. So, I mean, as long as we're playing turnover-free football, not out here throwing interceptions, Jalen's not fumbling the ball, this should be easy peasy, lemon squeezy for the offense.
Yeah, man. I mean, run the ball. That's what I say. Let Saquon run. I honestly want to see Will Shipley. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but I really would like to see Will Shipley in the game, getting a few catches and a few touches, running the ball, because I think that what is the point of having 3 dual running backs if you're not going to use them? Point blank, period. Like when you don't want to use Saquon, okay, use Gainwell. He did get a big run against the Browns. I was surprised. But yeah, put Shipley in there. I mean, he's a big body, just like Saquon. He might not be as big as Saquon, but he's another big body. So put him in there and let him run. And I believe, I mean, AJ and Devontae could possibly have 100 yards. I mean, the way we've been throwing to him, I mean, it's a possibility they could have 100 yards apiece. But just play smart ball, run the ball, mix it up. As we always say, running the ball opens up the passing game all the time. Well, we don't understand that, but yeah, I think we should be good. Unless the Giants defense once again shows out because they watch film on the Eagles and know how to run that defense against Jalen. Other than that, I don't really see us losing. I just hope that we can go ahead and get it started. I don't want no field goal. I want a touchdown the first quarter. Okay,
Yeah.
can
Man,
we
you
finally
better take that field goal and be happy. We ain't got nothing.
Listen, we got a chance to score a touchdown. Score a touchdown. Don't be doing nothing stupid where you got to get a field goal. You know what I mean?
agree
We
with
had
that.
that one play.
I agree with that, but at least
I mean,
let's
if you
get
got to
something out of
take it, of course. But if you already got down the field and you in that red zone, make good red zone decision plays. That's all you got to do when you get touchdown. It ain't even that hard. Just stop listening to Nick when you get to the red zone. That's all you got to do. Just don't listen to Nick when you get to the red zone. Okay, y'all. All right.
Exactly. What he tells you to do the opposite.
Right. Just give the ball to Saquon and let him run it in there. You at the red zone, he can get the touchdown. That is given for him. Okay. So yeah, I mean, we should be able to run that thing in on the Giants.
We should be able to. Benny, what's your thoughts? Offense versus the Giants defense.
The Giants stink. They ain't nothing but a bunch of midgets. Indeed, we gonna run it. I'm gonna call Kellen Moore. I'm gonna say, dude, I'm gonna talk to the other Pazans. So go ahead and tell Nick to sit down. So he can't call the Pazans to try to jump you. But some serious thing. I'm expecting the Eagles to score 21 points in the first quarter. Because what's his name? Thibodeau? Not playing.
Kevon Thibodeau, yeah.
And the only threat, even Barnes ain't doing nothing.
Wandale Robinson might not even be out there when we get to the offense. We ain't there yet. My bad for jumping. My bad. That's me.
And I don't care what I saw the interview Saquon had. He on a mission. All you got to do is just give this boy the ball. Give him the ball. Because it's a ringing in his ear of him hearing on Hard Knocks 27. When you 27, you don't have nothing left. But I swear, the first 3 games, I saw a running back that's 27 doing his thing.
Yeah, I
AJ,
probably had a little bit left.
AJ, I can see AJ getting maybe $140, maybe $150. I can see Smitty getting the buck. Jahan Dotson, if they play in the middle of the field, I can see him getting 50 to 60 yards on 4 catches. But Saquon, he's going to break the record that was held by Eagle back in 1960 something, where he rushed for 156 yards against the Giants. Saquon will get $160.
I can tell you better whatever you're gonna get, he better get on him 18 to 20 carries. They look like they're gonna give him. They might give him about 22 since they're playing the Giants. We'll see.
No, because if you run on that side with Beckham and Lane, because we don't got Mulata, you still can go to your right side with a 600 pounds or 700 pounds of beef. I'm just saying. And
Should you go to both sides?
I don't know. Fred, I don't know. I don't know too much about Fred Johnson. I didn't read up on him. I was thinking that maybe Beckham would go to that side and they bring in Tyler Steen, and I say, hold on, Tyler Steen, he ain't ready. So keep everything, keep him near.
Oh, Steen did a really good job. When he had to play the game for Becton. Becton just outplayed him. Took his job while he was hurt.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm expecting the Eagles to score 21 points in the first quarter.
Y'all got some high expectations on the bottom, but I tell y'all what, y'all want to go from 0 to 21 or 0 to touchdowns. If we can just get 3 points in the first quarter, I'd be happy.
Look, I'm high, brother.
I'm just saying.
I know, bro.
I'm just saying. We gotta get something first. We gotta take baby steps. Y'all want the power run.
I don't want no pass.
Crawl.
I want the whole bottom.
Right now, we still on the teat when it comes to first quarter scoring. But hey, we'll see what happens. If y'all right, I will be more than happy to say, okay, that's what's up. Before we go to defense, a couple of comments here, and then we're gonna talk about the defense, and we'll finish up here, guys. All right, Sam says hashtag Fly Eagles Fly. What up, Sam? Still waiting for you to get up here, sir. I'm gonna call you out. Scrub says 150 plus scrimmage yards for Saquon. Eagles defense forces 2 turnovers. Eagles win 2013. Those 2 things happen, sir. It's gonna be more than 20 points on that board.
Exactly.
Scrub says Giants are sorry at No Life Stadium. Eagles will score enough points to win. And by the way, Scrub is a Giants fan, but he does watch us faithfully, so appreciate him tuning in for our original brand of tomfoolery. We're gonna go back around this time. Benny, I'm gonna let you go first. What does our defense need to do to stop their offense? Then Diva, Wyatt, and I'll finish this out.
The number one thing they need, 2 things. Let Quinyon go against the young buck. I want to see that.
Neither one of them may be playing. Neighbors is not playing so far, and Wandale Robinson is questionable.
Well, bench. Put.
This could change before Sunday, but right now neither one of them are playing.
Put Dean on the bench. I want to see Jeremiah Trotter because he can run sideline to sideline. He know how to get off of blocks if an offensive lineman come up on him. Vic need to tell Nick to shut up. This is his thing. He's been coaching defense for 30-something years, maybe longer. I think this defense need to get at the Jones. Pop him in his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You can pop him in his mouth at least 2 times. he's rattled. If you let that ball escape the pocket and he do that run, even if he run, you know he's going to trip and fall anyway because he's clumsy. You can't let this team breathe. They already lost one divisional game. And after what happened with the way they beat us last year, and I think they got confidence. They're gonna come in with some. They're going to come out of the locker room with some confidence. Oh, we got them last year, and whoever the defensive coordinator is over there, they might look at that film and say, "This is what we did last year. We can do it now." But Vic, play tight. Play tight. That's the name of the game. You jam those receivers. If they got them bum receivers, wait a minute, Starling's still there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stop him.
Scrub says, hit Daniel Jones early. He will fold, and that will make the offense fold. Scrub also says, Giants lost 2 divisional games already. Will be 3 after Sunday. I hope that you're right, sir.
I hope you're right too.
Yeah, they lost to Washington. I forgot. But see, he read my mind. You hit Daniel Jones twice. That's it.
That's really all you got to do.
Oh.
He ain't no Patrick Mahomes.
He's far from that.
Well, he don't got the referees on his side, so that makes a big difference too. Diva, what you got?
Yeah, man. I mean, just keep the pressure on Daniel Jones. I mean, there ain't shouldn't be no reason why you can't get a few sacks on that man. Period, because he's garbage and he likes to sit in the pocket and hold on to the ball. So if you can get him, then there ain't no way they're gonna be able to get down the field because they need him to get down the field. Last year when they beat us, he wasn't even playing. So they had the DeVito kid that was out there. We had them just ball on us. Like, who was that dude? But yeah, I mean, I think the defense will really get off this game. I think our cornerbacks will be locked in, safeties and nickels. So I think the defense will definitely outdo the offense with the Giants on this game. Just keep getting pressure. That's all you need. Pressure, rushing, and just make sure you definitely get pressure on Daniel Jones. That's all you gotta do. And don't be playing 10 yards off, but we ain't play like that Sunday, so don't play like that this Sunday. Just lock them down, lock everybody down.
Adida.
Go ahead, White.
Yeah, I mean, like everybody was saying, you got to put pressure on Danny Nichols. You know, he's going to make mistakes as soon as you start putting more pressure on him. I mean, we were able to go out and do that against the Browns really well. There's no reason we don't go out here and get another 5 sacks this week. I believe they are missing their left tackle now. He's out for the season, I thought I saw. So, I mean, we're without our left tackle. They're without theirs, and they have a far worse O-line than us. We have one of the best O-lines in the league, I would say. So, I mean, there's no reason we shouldn't be out here getting pressure. As far as like the secondary, like you were saying, I think we should definitely be playing up more. If Slay isn't 100% or they're not sure about him, hold him out this week. Or, just let Isaiah Rodgers or Ringo get the start over him. That way you can play up a little bit more, be more aggressive. And man, I kind of agree with Benny too. Put Trotter Jr. in there. Why not? See what he can do out there. I know Nakobe has a lot of issues, especially in coverage. I mean, he's fine whenever he's rushing towards the line and stopping runs or screens and whatnot, but he doesn't really do well in coverage, in zone coverage. So it'll be interesting to see what Trotter is able to do, at least get him some reps. That way you're able to kind of rotate him if you have to throughout the season. But man, I would love to see Quinyon finally get his interception. He's had so many opportunities throughout, these first 5-6 weeks of the season. He's due for one. He was supposed to get that last week if it wasn't for, CJ GJ running into him and everything. He needs one. I think this is going to be the game he finally gets one. I would love got 2 interceptions like was mentioned in the comments. That would be great. But man, 1 interception, 1 turnover is fine with me because I don't think the Giants offense is going to be doing much against this defense if we are playing like we were last week.
Yep. Scrub says, and Andrew Thomas had surgery on his foot, so he's definitely not playing Sunday. So that's one of their offensive linemen as well. For me, it's real simple. Hit Daniel Jones, like everyone said. Vary up the defense. Give him some 5-man fronts. Give him some 3-man fronts. Give him some guys coming off the edge. Use Cooper DeJean like you did last week. Have him blitzing some. Just do some different things. He can drop back in coverage. He can blitz. He's been good at tackling. So just use him and allow him to be that X player he can be. Be nasty. This is a divisional game. This is our first divisional game, right? So right now we got 2 L's. Commanders got 2 L's. Cowboys got 3 L's. So all we gotta do, go out here, get us a dub. We can solidify second place for now because we did have our bye already, and we can start climbing up because now we're starting to have divisional games. Because before we weren't playing divisional games, so even if we had the same record as somebody else, we were going to be under them because they had divisional wins. So it's time to make a statement in the division. Come out, play hard, make it everything makes sense. Make sure you wrap up tackles. And if you understand that Nakobe Dean, because he's going to play, let's be honest, he's going to play. If you understand that he's not great in coverage, then design the schemes so that he doesn't have to be great in coverage. If you're going to play him, understand what he can do, understand what he can't do, and use it properly. That's pretty much all I got. Like, it's not rocket science. These 3 people have already talked about it. It's not rocket science. Let's go out and get a dub, man. It's dub city time. It's time to get some dubs, right? We got an easy, for the most part, schedule coming up. We do got to play the Ravens. That's going to be tough. But, hey, that's not the only game we got. But it's time to make some moves, man. It's time to win, right? Because the difference between last year, I feel like, in this year is games that we would have folded in last year. We found a way to win. But offense, it's time to kick it in gear a little bit on y'all side and help the defense out a little bit more. Keep them off the field at least get some long, extended drives. Get the defense fresh, and then we're going to make it happen. It's our game to lose. And I ain't trying to have to hear no Giants fans telling me that we lost to them. And
so, like, you not only got to hear Giants fans, you got to hear the Cowboys fans too.
As we always do, Giants fans, we got one thing for y'all. And with that being said, for my man Benny Boone, guest hosting with us, for the Diva, for my man Wyatt, it's your boy Cool McCain, we signing off. Hashtag Fly Eagles Fly. Hashtag
y'all hit Benny up. That's the man right there. The man on the screen is the man that we be rocking the gear for. Okay.
And make sure
Facebook, find me, Benny Boone.
And make sure
look for Benny Boone.
4 friends, 4 people who may not like you so much. Just because they may or may not like you doesn't mean they won't like us. Benny Boom on Facebook. Make it happen. We'll see you next week. And if y'all happen to lose this game for the Philadelphia Eagles, y'all stank.